We're doing something different here tonight, guys, and I'm very excited because I need more real estate. I need more space to show you things tonight. I can't wait to demonstrate how to properly clean and check your blades, how to properly clean, oil, and adjust your shears, your dog grooming shears. And I've got tools sitting right here with me, ready for you. Some of them are dirty, so they need some work. We're also going to adjust shears, but let me just tell you, first of all, I'm so glad you guys are joining me today live from the grooming table. If we haven't met, and I'm pretty sure we have, I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry so that you can provide the same level of quality care to the pets you groom or to your own pets if you're caring for your own pets, as I provide to my client pets. It's a great community that we've created here, and I'm so glad you're part of it. And one of my goals for this YouTube channel, for us, for the Go Groomer community, that's us, one of my goals is to bring a new voice to the pet grooming industry, and that is one that includes pet owners as valuable consumers and not just pet groomers. So we're bigger together, bigger and better together. So having a place to learn proper dog grooming techniques and receive professional advice on tools, products, and where to get them is essential. And that's why I created this YouTube channel for you and the pets that you groom. Welcome to Go Groomer on YouTube. I'm so glad you're all here. Look at you. I see you. I got cameras up here too. I'm looking. I can see you guys. You don't think I can see you, but I can. No, I can't see you. I see your names, and I'm so happy that you're here. But this is a great little show that we have planned for you here tonight, guys. The topic is dog grooming tools if your dog grooming tools aren't cutting. I get this question a lot from you guys in emails and comments, and I understand there are many variables that could cause that. And we talk about a lot of those variables. And the last two live streams that I think we've done here together, we've talked a lot about why your clipper blades may be stalling in the coat, or your guard combs don't want to go through the coat. So we've already covered coat prep could be the reason, right? That's one reason. Coat prep. If you can't slide a dog grooming comb, do I have one here? I better. I'm a groomer. Here's one. If you can't slide a dog grooming comb through your dog's coat after you've bathed, brushed, dried, fluff dried, slicker brushed again, and then slide a dog grooming comb all the way from the skin out, then your dog is not prepared for grooming, for clipping and scissor work. And your clipper is probably not going to go through it the way you want it to. These clippers are powerful, but we have to prep the coat first. So we already talked about that in the last two live streams, so we're ready for this one. That's why it's great that we're doing it. So tonight we're talking about grooming. The grooming struggles, many of you may struggle with this. Grooming tools, specifically your clipper blades and your dog grooming shears. And that goes for blending shears too. There's a lot of frustration out there with you guys, and I'm listening. Your tools just don't want to cut right. So when are they dull? How do you know? When do they need adjusted? Do they need adjusted? How do you do that? You might think that your shears and your clipper blades are dull. That's the first thing I go to. But hey, that may be the last thing that's the problem. I'm going to show you tonight some simple things that you can do. Take only a second to keep your blades and your shears in peak operating order for you, so you can groom with confidence and your tools are ready for you. That's important. We want them to be ready. So this is a live demo that we're doing tonight. I'm going to show you exactly how to clean and oil your shears, how to clean and oil your clipper blades. Very important. I do have some videos on this. I do have linked videos in the description because I figured you may need a little bit more after this lesson. So I have some good stuff linked for you. We're going to talk about how to clean and oil them properly and how often you should be doing that. That's probably one of the things you're not sure of. We're going to make easy shear adjustments that many groomers overlook. You got to adjust your shears. You got to adjust these. Well, there's a tension dial for a reason, and I'm going to show you how to use it properly. It's going to make it easy to adjust your shears and make sure the tension on your shear is exactly where it needs to be. Then we can decide, after it's cleaned and oiled and we've checked the tension, then we can decide, is it dull? And we have a method that we're going to use to check that. And I'm going to show you so you can do that at home too, or in your grooming salons. We're also going to perform clipper blade maintenance that will extend the life of your clipper blade. So it's not only necessary to perform maintenance on your clipper blades, easy maintenance. I'm not talking about taking anything apart. If you're taking them apart, we're going to talk about that in a minute. You do not take these screws out, okay? I know they're there. I know you want to, but I'm going to tell you why not to and what can happen if you do. We're also going to cover how to tell when it's time to send your blades and your shears for sharpening. That is a big question you guys have. There's a shear sharpening test that we're going to do tonight that I'll show you. It's simple, it's easy, and you probably already have everything you need right in front of you or somewhere within arm's reach of you now. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that, and hopefully you make it part of your routine. And you're going to extend the life of your shears and your blades, and you're going to keep them working in optimal shape. That's the whole idea of caring for these. These are our very most important tools here. We use them on every dog that we give a haircut to. So you're going to learn where do you send your shears and your clipper blades if they need sharpened. I've linked a couple for you below. I'm not going to leave you hanging. You're going to learn what shears and clipper blades cannot be sharpened. Wait, what? Well, yes. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you what they are and why. And when it's time to replace your blade, you're going to learn that tonight. Plus, what not to do that could damage them. I want to set you up for success. That's the reason we're getting together tonight, and that's what we're going to end with tonight. You're going to be set up for success. The truth is that you might be accidentally causing your tools to fail, and I want to help you with that. I'm here to help you fix it tonight. So that's what we're going to do. By the end of this stream, you'll know exactly how to keep your dog grooming shears and your clipper blades running at 100%. You're going to cut down on tool costs, and you're going to get back on track to better, smoother grooming sessions with fewer problems. That's what I want for you, and that's what you want when you go to groom a dog. So grab your shears, pet your dog, grab your shears and your blades if you've got them nearby so you can really look at them and get an idea, you know, up close and personal for you too, as I'm showing you some demonstrations here, and let's just dive into it. I am going to be taking answers to your questions. You know that's part of our live from the grooming table. So though the chat's not on screen, I can still see it. It's right here. You guys can still see it too if you're watching this live on your device, your phone, or your computer. So the chat's still there. You're still here, and I see you. And I will be getting to your questions. If you have a question, hold the dash key down to create a line, then type your question. That way I can see it. I want to get you answers. You may have a lot of questions tonight, and we're going to make sure that you get the answers you need. So make sure you hold that dash key down to create a line. I will go back when I'm done giving my lesson. When we're done with class, I'll go back and I'll start from the beginning, and I'll start pulling those questions out in order that you guys send them in to me, okay? Right in the chat. So it's in the chat. You type it in the chat. So are you ready? I'm ready. This is where we're going to start. I have a couple of I have a little note sheet here so I don't forget to show you certain things. I'm pointing at you with shears. We're not supposed to run with shears or anything. So that's the first lesson tonight. Don't run with shears. And they always used to tell you in school to hold them like this when you're walking across the room. Well, if you're a dog groomer and you're holding your shears like this and the dog trips you up, I don't think that's a good idea. So let's just keep them in the drawer at our grooming table. Speaking of grooming table, this Wags table is awesome. Look at me. I'm standing here and my table is right here. You can see it. It can go up even further if I wanted it to. I just love the adjustments on this table. I've got my drawers right here. So that's where your shears belong when you're not using them. All right, let's get to it. So we're going to start with the first thing with shears. Here's my beautiful sapphire curved shear. One of my very favorite shears I've ever held ever in 22, 23 years. This shear is, this is my gold. That's why it's gold. No, I am a Virgo. That's why it's called sapphire. It's named after me. It's my baby. It's one of my babies. I have babies. They're not babies anymore. All right, so we're going to start with shears, and we're going to talk about clean and oiling them. How do you do that? It's so easy. So how often should you clean and oil your shears? Okay, so that's where we're starting. Before we say we're grooming along and we're like, I think my shear feels sticky, tacky, something, it's not cutting all the way to the tip, something's up. First thing you will always do, even if you think it may be dull, you could be wrong. So the first thing I want you to do is clean it. What do we clean it with? Andis Cool Care. This is the same thing that we're going to use to clean our blades with. Okay, I said clean. We are going to be talking about oiling too. Cleaning. Now, Andis Cool Care has relabeled recently, I think, so your bottle may look like this. Either way, what Andis Cool Care is it's a 5-in-1 blade care system. Yes, we're using it on shears. It's a coolant, it's a disinfectant, it's a lubricant, it's a cleaner, and it's a rust preventative. So we use it on shears and we use it on blades. I like to keep these soft little fiber towels. They're really soft. See that? So I keep that here for my shears and my blades. So what I'll do is I'll open it up and I lay it in my hand. I'll take my shear. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to lay it. I got to make this so you guys can see. I got to lay it on my cloth and I'm going to spray both sides. Just spray it. Flip it over. I hope I don't ruin my Mac. Trying to protect it with my cloth here. We're going to flip it over. We're going to spray. You're really trying to spray the blades, okay? And for anything that's going to disinfect, you know, it has to be in contact for, you know, at least I'd say 30 seconds to be safe, to kill bacteria, germs, that kind of thing. So as you can see, it's coated, right? Now we're cleaning the shear. You're going to want to wipe away from the point and do not touch the inside edges in here, either edge of this shear, ever. It's sharp, 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 sharp. It's a sharp sword. So now we're going to take it and we're going to get a finger and a thumb on the flat side. And we're just going to run it up and we're going to wipe it off. And we're going to put quite a bit of pressure, pulling off any eye boogers, butt boogers, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff that gets stuck in our shears. Loose hairs. If you do have any hairs in here, you can just simply blow them out before you start cleaning the shear. So we cleaned it, right? Now the shear's clean. That's the first thing we do. You will do this. You're going to clean your shears. Clean your shears after the end of every grooming day, or if they need it. Let's just say the end of every use. So if you're grooming 5 dogs, 6 dogs today, go ahead and clean these after every dog because you want to disinfect them. And what you're doing when you're cleaning them is you're removing any boogers, any hard things that are going to harden on here and affect whether this shear can make a full solid cut. Because otherwise it may feel dull to you. You'll be like, it's not cutting right, it's missing something there. So you clean it. We don't oil them every day, and I'm going to show you how to oil them right now, but we clean them every day. And if you groom your own dog at home, you do 1 dog or 2 dogs only every 6 weeks, clean your shears before you put them away, okay? That's when you do it. You clean them. So when we oil the shear, now remember, we're still trying to figure out if this guy is dull. So we've already taken care of the cleaning. When we oil it, we're going to put a drop of oil. You're going to open it up here so you're looking at the inside of it. We're going to put a drop of oil right here, and we're going to put another drop of oil right here. Sorry, I can't do this on camera. Right here. Because we're going to then work it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my cloth just to keep me from dropping any oil on my computer, because that's what we're live streaming from. So I'm going to try to do this so you guys can see. Whoops, I'm using the wrong oil. Actually, that wouldn't be the end of the world if you use your clipper blade oil. But I do have scissor oil just for shears. And I mean, most all of your shears that come from Kenshi or a lot of other companies, they're going to give you a little tube of this scissor oil that is for your scissors. It's very fine oil, so it also evaporates easier. That's the whole idea of it. It's very fine oil. So we're going to put one dot there, and we're going to put another dot right there. Put that away. And then, without wiping it yet, now we're just going to work the shear. We're working it through this pivot screw where the two shears sit against each other. We're working the oil through there manually. Okay, just, you don't have to chomp and smack the blades or anything, because you'll mess your blades up. So we're just working it. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to come in and we're going to wipe that again. We're going to remove as much excess as we can. As much as you can. Do not touch the top edge of the blade. Very sharp. So you can open your shears way up. See that? And you can wipe them. So it's okay if a little bit of scissor oil is in there. It's not going to hurt anything. But it could cause a lot of hair to stick to it and build up in there, which could affect how these blades pivot against each other. See, they're held together by a screw. All right, so now we know our blade is clean and oiled. We're still wondering if it's dull, right? Don't know. Let's find out. So before we do that, we're checking the adjustment. What? Yes, shears need adjusting. That's what this dial is for. You may have a little screw. If you have a screw, you will just gently, there's a little tool you can get if your shears have a screw. Most all of them have tension dials. I think all of mine do. A couple of them have screws. But so that's how you can loosen the tension. What I want to see with the tension, how do I know if it's adjusted properly? When I lift the top and drop it down, if this little catch here smacks down against the other one, lift it all the way up, drop it down. Not just a little, all the way up. Give it some gravity. It's smacking. It's a little loose. What I want to see is I want to see it stop about right there before it smacks down on here. So I don't want it to smack down. That's actually the perfect tension. So I already know it's loose, right? Your dial is just like anything. If you turn to the left, you're loosening. If you turn to the right, you're tightening. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I know it's loose, so I want to go 2 clicks to the right. Don't go more than 2. Maybe do 1, but I always go 2. Always go for more. 1, 2. And you can hear it click. You can feel it click. Now let's test it again. Well, hello there. Our shear is now adjusted properly. It's perfect. It's got just enough tension for this shear to work optimally. So that's what you want. That's how you clean, oil, and adjust your shear. Okay, so now we know it's cleaned, it's oiled, it's adjusted. Now maybe it'll cut better. Well, let's do the cut test. Well, I'm just going to cut my hair. Don't do that. Just get a paper towel, and you want to lay it all the way to the back of the blade. See that? And we're going to give it a cut as if we were making a cut in the dog hair, not gently, a normal cut, not a, just like you were cutting dog hair. This shear cut all the way to the tip. That's because this shear is awesome. No, because it's sharp too. So it showed me that. So let me show you that one more time, and I'll show you on a blending shear. All the way in and give it a cut. You see? It went all the way to the tip. This is a beautifully sharpened shear. I know my shear is now clean, oiled, adjusted, and sharp. So my shear's good. If I'm having trouble getting through the coat, maybe it's because the coat's matted or not prepped right. So that will tell you something else, right? If your shears are all good, adjusted, and sharp, you've checked it. So when we check our blending shears, when you clean blending shears, these are sharp too, so don't touchy. This edge is sharp, and this edge is sharp. Both edges on a shear are sharp, so always pull, hold it tight and pull away, because you do want to put pressure on it so you can clean any debris or buildup that's on there. When you clean these little teeth, you just simply pull down, or you can brush them out with a blade brush gently. Anything that you do to the shear could be a little damaging, so be very careful what you use. You don't want to cause it not to be sharp. So this shear, if we're checking for sharpness, same thing. We're going to put it all the way in that paper towel, and we're going to give it a nice normal chomp. Look, all the way to the tip. It's sharp. So this is good. Same with this one. You guys saw my video the other day. This shear is dirty. I need to clean it. This is the monk shear that you can get at Groomer's Choice. You guys wanted to see some budget shears, some cheaper shears than mine or any other shears on the market. I tested these guys. They were wonderful, and I will be demonstrating them too if you're coming to see me at Hershey when I'm at the Groomer's Choice Cocoa Suite, which is their room, not a booth, it's a room. It's going to be awesome. You can shop there with Groomer's Choice and with me. So I'm going to demonstrate these on Ellie Grace in a Schnauzer trim. So let's check these to see how they are for tension. They're a little loose. Bring it all the way up. Whoop, let it fall. It smacks all the way down. I'm going to go 2 to the right. 1, 2. That's a little tight. 1 to the left. 1. One more to the right. Maybe it's the way I'm holding them. That's good. That's good. You want a little tension on your shears, which is the tension between both of these blades, so that they can harmoniously come together and make the most beautiful snips you ever saw. So now let's check this to see if it's sharp. So we're going to lay it in there, and we're going to make a normal cut. And it even looks perforated because it is a blending shear. Isn't that cool? It perforates. And it is sharp all the way to the edge. And that's how you tell. But before you check for sharpness, you clean with Andis Cool Care. You oil, wrong oil again, scissor oil. You oil right at the 2 pivot points of your shear, which again, it's right here and right here. And then you work the shear, let it work through the pivot screw there and where the 2 shears pivot together. And you wipe it down, and then you check to see if it's sharp. So that's how you check them. If you do your shear sharpness test and say it stops midway and you clamp it all the way down, but it only cut that much, it needs to be sharpened. So you don't want to work with a shear that has some dull points, say here. And a lot of things can dull your shears. Abuse, if you drop them, they could be out of whack, and it can be fixed when you send it to the professional, unless it's really bad. And they'll let you know. But there's a lot of things that, maybe you're using the tip of your shears more than you are the whole entire real estate of your shear. Then you're probably going to dull the tips a little bit, and then it's dangerous because you're going to overcompensate when you're scissoring or you're going to try to use the meat down here of the shear because the tip isn't sharp, and you're not going to have control or accuracy with the dog, especially we're talking around feet, private areas, faces. You want precision. You want it. If I want to use the tip of my shear only, I only have to open my thumb a little bit to use the tip of my shear and be very precise, but then I want to use the tip of my shear, right? So if you would do that, if you would do your test and say it only cut halfway or all the way, the whole thing is not cutting through your paper towel or a piece of toilet paper. Paper towels are nice, they're easier to handle. Then it's going to need sharpened. So that's how you tell. So we've checked, we've cleaned, we've oiled, we've adjusted, we've checked if they're sharp. We know they're sharp. We know our shears are good. Now we're going to move on to clipper blades. Wait, before we do that, I want to say here right now, it's the same for clipper blades. So what do we do if this was dull, or if it had a dull spot, or maybe it actually, you know, needs to be rehoned because there's a little chip out of it, and sometimes they can fix it. Depends on the severity. But if your shears need to be sharpened, I've linked Kenchi and Whitman's in the description below. Those are two very reputable sharpening services that I would suggest you go with. I personally choose Kenchi. I've just used them for so long that I know that I'm in good hands there with whatever shear I send, and most all of my shears are made by Kenchi anyway. Not that that matters. Any shear sharpener can sharpen any shear. But the only reason I say that is because like Kenchi knows that this is a Kenchi Sapphire shear. They also know that it has a micro serrated edge. That means they're going to put the micro serrated edge back on when they sharpen it. Another sharpening service may just think, oh, it's a curved shear, and they'll hone that off and they won't put the micro serration on. So that's just me. I just go a little overboard with that stuff, but that's just how I feel about shear sharpening. Kenchi does sometimes have a pretty long wait time. Depends on how many shears are piled up there to be sharpened and blades. So, you know, sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's 4, and sometimes it's 6. And it's even been longer than that till you would get your shears back. But on their website, if you click the link in the description, it'll tell you as soon as you go there what the approximate wait time is to get your shears back, so you have an idea. So then I would just say, okay, I'm going to go for my Shinobi shears while I send this guy out, and I'm going to use the Shinobis until this guy comes back, and then put the Shinobis back or whatever. You know, I like to use the same shears when I'm grooming most of the time because I become very, very comfortable with them and very in tune with them, like it's just an extension of my fingers. And every time I switch a shear, I can use any shear, but sometimes there's just something different in the way it feels in my hand, and I just kind of got to readjust my brain and my hand. And I just like to use the same shears all the time. So if you like a certain pair of shears, you might want to always have 2 sets. One as a backup and one in case you need to have it sharpened. It's not a bad idea to do that. So let's move on to clipper blades. So we're going to talk about how to know if clipper blades are sharp. Well, the way you tell, you don't take it apart to know. The way you tell is if you have a clean, properly prepared coat and you're trying to get through and it just feels like you're really pushing, no cutting is happening. And sometimes you can even hear like a tangly sound, like it's tangling in the hair. I mean, if your clipper blade doesn't glide through easily, it's dull. And sometimes when you're clipping, you'll be halfway through a dog. Everything's going great, and all of a sudden, it's not going through the coat anymore. Clipper blades can just go dull in the middle of a grooming session. It happens. That's typically what happens. They don't just say, oh, it's starting to feel dull. You almost never know it's dull until it stops cutting. And then you're like, yep, that one's dull. So the first thing that I do with clipper blades, and I want you guys to do this, and we've talked about this, before you put them down. So I'm using this 7 blade. using a 7-blade, performing all my 7-blade clipper work, because you know we like to work in increments. I'm going to do all my body blade work. I'm going to do all my leg work. If that's a different blade, fine, then I will clean this one and put it away and get my leg blade, which would be a 10-blade and a guard comb probably. So you finish your clipper work first, so that when we're done with clipper work, we put the clipper down. We shouldn't have to revisit it unless we really see something during the scissor work phase that needs touched up. Other than that, once we want to perform all clipper work and put it away. That's how you stay productive. So after you use each blade, so I've trimmed the body, the legs with the 7, it's a summer trim obviously. Now I'm done with it. Now it's time to clean it and oil it and put it down. Why? Because then the next time I need it, I simply pick it up, it's cleaned, it's oiled, it's ready, it goes back on the clipper, and I'm ready to use it. So that's the idea, but cleaning and oiling them after every use will really extend the life of your blades. I mean, there is no set of sharpness. How many haircuts will you get out of the 7-blade? That's not how it works, because every coat type is different. We may be clipping all really dirty, heavy coated doodles. Well, my blades are going to dull quicker on those coats than if I was only just trimming a bunch of Malteses all the time, or, you know, even schnauzers, something that was a thinner hair. So coat matters a lot. It's the wear and tear. That's all it is. Wear and tear is what will dull your blade. So here's how we clean a blade. Now, I did link 3 or 4 or 5 videos for you in the description. One of them is a really good demo on everything I just showed you about how to take care of your shears. And the other one is about a really good up close and personal demo, how to clean, oil, and send your shears for sharpening. All that's in that video. There's also a video in there that shows you what your clipper will do, and it was a YouTube short. It'll show you why your clippers and your guard combs aren't going through the coat. That was more about the coat prep. Remember, if the coat prep ain't there, the blade can be sharp as a tack, but it's still going to struggle to get through the coat. The coat prep has to be done. So here's how we clean a blade. After I clip the dog, you're going to have tons of little hair clippings stuck in here, stuck back here, stuck in here, everywhere. So what I like to do first is take my HV dryer on a low setting and open up the blade so it's just sitting there, and I'll hold it with my thumb so it doesn't fall off, and I will just shoot that air through there, because I want to get in here. I want to blow all the clippings out of this blade. You can take it off, and you can literally just use your forced air dryer and blow, not on extreme high, because you could probably adjust the tension on your clipper blade. Just, you know, on a lower setting, just enough to blow the hair off and all the stuff out of the blade. Or you can use a blade brush. I often will just use a blade brush, but if it gets very, very packed in there with stuff, I'll grab that HV dryer. So your blade brush, you're just going to brush away from the teeth. You don't want to brush the hair down into the clipper, because there are some mechanical things going on in there. Brush away, flip it over, brush away. And I have a video, a short, about this, just depacking your blade if you're not sure how to depack it. So that's the first thing you do when you go to clean your blade. And this is after every use. After you use your 7-blade for a haircut, before you put it down, you clean it and you oil it. So the next thing you're going to do is almost like with our shears. We're going to take the Andis Cool Care again. We're going to spray the back of the blade, and we're going to let it run down a little bit, okay? This is a disinfectant. You want it to sit about 30 seconds if you can wait that long. The longer you let it set, the more it can disinfect and kill bacteria. So then we're going to wipe it clean, and that will run between the teeth here. You could actually turn it on and spray the teeth, but hold it down and spray in the teeth so it doesn't run. If your clipper is tilted up, that's going to run down this way. You don't want that. You want it to be, you want to hold it this way. And you can let that rust preventative run between the teeth. That's okay, and it's also cleaning the teeth. All right, so now we've cleaned it. We're going to wipe it, and that dissipates very quickly. It's almost like alcohol. When you wipe it, it just wipes away. Now we're going to use our Andis clipper blade oil. This is specific for clipper blades. And we're going to put one dot, oh boy. We're going to put one dot right here where these two blades slide back and forth, right here, and one right here, and you may put one right in the middle. You just don't want to overdo the oil. So I'm going to do one on each side and one right in the middle there. I don't know if you guys can see. And then we're going to turn it on. Hold it down so the blade doesn't run into the mechanical parts of your clipper. If anything's going to drip off, it's going to drip off into your cloth. And let it run for, you know, again, maybe 20 seconds is all it really takes. You're lubricating the teeth. And wipe it one more time, really good. And your blade is cleaned, oiled, and you've removed all the hair particles that were packing between in all little nooks and crannies of the teeth and the mechanical parts of the blade. Now this blade can be set down and is ready for the next time I need to use it, whether that's the next dog, or if it's going to be, if you groom one dog, your own dog, only every 6 weeks, you're going to want to clean and oil it before you use it because it's sat a while. And depending on where you're storing your blades and your shears, they need to be stored in a dry, kind of climate controlled environment. If they're in too much heat, too much humidity, or too much cold, it can affect your shears and your clipper blades. So if you're not using them often, clean and oil them before you start too, not just after you use them, because they've sat a while. So they may not perform right for you. They have like the oil, you know, like the Tin Man, he needed the oil, he couldn't talk, he got his oil can. Such a noob. All right, so blade brushes for clipper blades, cleaning clipper blades. What we use is blade brush or high velocity dryer to get rid of the hair clippings, and it's Cool Care, which is a 5-in-1 coolant, disinfectant, lubricant, cleaner, and rust preventative, and our clipper blade oil specifically for clipper blades. If you guys click on the Shop with Me and Groomer's Choice link below, and you go to my website there, all these things should be linked there under, I think, blade care or maintenance. If they're not, you just go to the search bar. There's a search hourglass icon at the top, and you type in clipper blade oil, and this will come up. Or you type in Andis Cool Care, and it'll come up. Whatever you're looking for, it'll all come up. Blade brush, that's their microfiber towels. That's all on that website with me and Groomer's Choice to save you money. That's what we're doing. It's great. So that's what we do for clipper blades. Just these three things. For our shears, our scissors, we need our towel, we need scissor oil, and Andis Cool Care again. This is going to clean and disinfect. So it'll get all the boogies and all the yucky stuff off. And then, of course, some paper towels. And you can still use these to clean. You could probably still wipe something up with this. So you can recycle them. But that's how we take care of the shears and the blades. Now, when it's time to send the tools for sharpening, obviously, that's when we do our scissor test. And our scissors tell us that they are not sharp all the way to the tip. And they will. They will be like, you'll put this down. If I do, it's just going to cut it. You'll put it down, and some of it will cut, some of it won't, some of it will. That tells you it needs to be sharpened, and it needs to go to a professional and have it adjusted as well. There's things they can do that we can't. So before we do that, we clean it, we oil it, and we adjust the tension and make sure the tension is right. And that video link below, we'll go over that in specifics for you too. If you guys need to save something in a playlist and you want to have a playlist for clipper blades Clipper maintenance, I have a video there for clipper maintenance. What can go wrong with this and what you can easily do to adjust it before you send it out. There's a video for that too. You should put all that in a playlist. I think I have it in a playlist, so just save the playlist because it'll come in handy when you need it instead of having to go and look through the videos and say, where was that video? What was it called? Where was it? Oh my gosh, she had 640 some videos on her channel. I can't find it. Yeah, those are your videos. So that's how we determine if our shears are clean, oiled, need adjusted, if they need to be sent out. If they do need to be sent out, I have linked 2 very reputable shear sharpeners for you in the comment or in the description below, guys. They are my top recommendations that I can honestly, wholeheartedly say, yep, go. I've, used them. I trust them. So I can tell you that. What shears and what clipper blades cannot be sharpened and why. Let's start with shears. So there are shears that can't be sharpened? There actually are. You will find shears that look like this. They actually look like legitimately good shears. They look like a good sword, right? Like, look at this. Look at the ergonomic stuff going on there. It looks like a good shear. It's even got a tension dial. It must be a good shear. You buy it from Amazon. It's 40 bucks. You're like, this is a steal, right? What you're getting is probably not a forged shear. So the steel is not hardened. It is not strong. It is not a forged shear versus casted, means like poured into a mold. They can't be sharpened. Those cheap shears cannot. They will literally just fall apart on a sharpening wheel because there's nothing to them. I mean, they really are cheap for a reason. Think about it, guys. $40 pair of shears that looks like this. This one I think is on sale for like $87 or something. This is one I used in that demo the other day when I was testing the budget shears. You should watch it. I might have linked that for you below. I'm not sure. I was linking a bunch of videos before I got on here today. So those are the shears that can't be sharpened, or shears that are very, very cheap. Not these. These are good. These are actually good steel. These can be sharpened. This is 440 steel. They can be sharpened. The Groomer's Choice Monk line, that's what this is. My shears, of course, can be sharpened. And they're going to have to be. If you ever think, wow, I got a shear and it went dull on me, now what do I throw it away? My gosh, no. No, you should be able to keep a pair of shears your whole life if you take care of them. And you may not have to get them sharpened too often. Even as a pro, I will only need to send this shear out probably every 6 months. It's a good sword. That's why. So that's as a pro, grooming a lot of dogs. If you're just grooming your own dogs and you're taking care of your shear, it's going to be a long time till you need to have it sharpened. But you should have that backup, because if you're in the middle of the groom and you don't have another shear as a backup, what are you going to do? Because using a dull shear is dangerous, because you will overcompensate and you will try to use this part of the shear instead of the tip of the shear. You'll try to use down in here, and it's dangerous. You're not accurate now. So sharp shears are important and they are sharp. So we need to be careful always when we're working with shears and our pets, but be careful. How do we know when our blades need to be sent to the sharpener? Well, that was easy. And you're clipping along and all of a sudden it just says, I'm not going through. Now, if you're clipping a matted coat, not the case. It's the matted coat is the reason it won't go through. But if your coat is prepared and it should be clipping and it's not, it's a dull blade. So you need to send them out. Blades can be sharpened, I don't know, they say up to 8-9 times. So I tend to not want to sharpen them too often. I'll do a couple times and then I send them for recycle. Like they'll give you like $5, I think, for each one at Kenchi. And I just buy another one because I want to make sure that, I'm ready to go with whatever lands on my table, and I'm like, I don't want to try to push too much life out of this blade. When I was a beginner groomer, I used to send them out for sharpening. and never retire them. And I'd get them back and they wouldn't last long, or they didn't feel great. The tension goes away. All these moving parts break down a little bit. It's just not going to be great. So I learned the hard way that I'm sending them out to be sharpened thinking they're always going to come back like it was when I got it from the factory, but that's not true. After so many times and so many uses, these things wear down a bit, and they, you know, they grind a little bit off when they sharpen it too. But there's some moving parts in here, and there's a little plastic piece in here too that seats the one blade on the other one. So all that stuff will break down over time, and it's just never going to be great after so many sharpens. So they say 8 to 9, but I usually do maybe 3, and then I send it in, say, recycle this blade and put that money towards a new 7 blade. And I do love these Joy Z blades, guys. You know that. They are still my top runner. I've tried pretty much everything that's on the market. I think I have, honestly. And these Joy Z blades are wonderful. And you may ask me why. And so I will tell you. It's because they definitely use good steel. They have somewhat of like a ceramic, mix of ceramic and metal in this metal, or it's a coating, but they do not get as hot as fast as a lot of other blades. All metal grooming blades are going to get hot. That's just the way it is, because it's metal on metal. But these seem to not get as hot as other clipper blades. I even did a test, and that's on my YouTube somewhere in a short. I think it was 17 minutes it took for this to, and it still wasn't as piping hot as the other one I was testing it against. So I do like the Joy Z blades. Which blades can't be sharpened? Well, all of your detachable blades can be. Whether it's a buttercut blade, an Artero blade, an Andis blade, an Oster blade, Joy Z, the list goes on. Wall, of course, I love wall blades. We're talking A5 detachable blades, this style of blade. They can all be sharpened. The wide blades, they can all be sharpened. The ones that can't are for 5-in-1 or 4-in-1 clippers. They cannot be sharpened. They are a very, very different scenario. There's just a bunch of springs and all kinds of, you know, they're lightweight, they're easy to use, but that's why. I mean, this is what it is. This is a heavy metal guy, you know, he's a hard rocker. And this guy's, you know, more into classical music. But they're daintier, and they cannot be taken apart in order to sharpen them, because they take these two blades apart when they sharpen them. The cutting edge and then the back blade. So your adjustable clipper blades cannot be sharpened. Those are the ones that cannot be sharpened. So if anybody was wondering, I hope you understand now that you know, this is a blade that you have to replace. But they are a pain to get on though, aren't they? I love my detachable blade clippers. So much more than the adjustable blades, but boy, are they handy. Especially sanitary areas. I use them all the time for that. Puppies that are sensitive, any dog that maybe have sensitivity to a clipper, I will use this. You can use guard combs that are made specifically for the 5-in-1 and 4-in-1s, and they're very helpful in certain situations. So they're nice as a professional to have on hand, absolutely. But, you know, for everyday hard work and grooming, I really, you know, it's a detachable blade clipper for me. I do like the Joy Z Falcon. People have been asking me that. You talk a lot about the Wall KM. I do, because it's always the one that I have in my hand. But I do like the Falcon. I've grown quite accustomed to the feel of the Wall, and I don't know if that's it. The Falcon has all the power. It's cordless. It's a reasonable price. It's a great clipper too. So, you know, don't think that because I don't use it in all my videos doesn't mean I don't like it. You know, I know that it confuses you guys. Well, if she's using that, that must be the only one she likes. But that's not always true. In fact, I could use any professional dog clipper and I can perform the same work. I can do that. But which one do I like to use? Because what feels good to me. That's what it's all about for me. Even, you know, the beginner clippers like the Wall KM2s and stuff, they work. They do the same thing. You just may have to move slower. You know, this guy's going to plow through stuff quickly because he's moving at like, I don't know, 5,800 strokes per minute or something. It's really fast. So your beginner models like your KM2, there used to be an and a single speed. That's what I started with. It was an adjustable blade or detachable blade clipper. I was a single speed, so the blade didn't get as hot as fast. I was a slower groomer. That was perfect for me. My clipper work, I was slower at performing it, so I didn't need the beast, right? But as I got better and faster, I needed the beast. I needed it. I needed something that I could just go right through that stuff. So starting as a beginner with like a single speed Andis clipper or even that Wall KM2, I believe they still make it. They just remodeled all of their KM models. They're a good choice to start with because the blade won't heat up as fast because it doesn't have the strokes per minute as the Beast does, right? The Beast is made for somebody who can get clipper work done fast, meaning by the time that blade heats up, I'm done with my clipper work. Or I may have to switch out the blade for a cool blade, if that's the case. That's what we do. But so don't let me confuse you on clippers. Tools, there are a lot of amazing tools out there on the market, guys. I haven't tried them all. Obviously, I wouldn't have room for anything in here if I had every tool that was ever made on the market. I tried to try the ones that I feel by looking at them that I would have good faith in and that I could tell by looking if it's going to perform nice. So I do try to try a lot of tools, shears, combs, brushes. Technically, you know, people say, what slicker brush do you like to use? I can use any slicker brush. I can use a $10 slicker brush and do beautiful work with it because I know how to use and control that tool without hurting the dog's skin. Are there brushes that feel better, that I like better, that maybe perform a little better on a thicker coat? Yeah, but can I still get there with that cheapie? Yeah, I can. The cheap ones, the bristles are going to start to get all out of whack and you're soon going to have to replace it. They're just not made as well. But you can do the work with them as long as the brush is holding up. If your slicker brush has bristles all bent and they're not right and they're not going in the right direction, don't use them. You could poke a dog in the eye with it because the one bristle's going that way and the other's going this way. No, that's when it's time to throw them out. Absolutely. So we talked about what shears and clippers can't be sharpened, right? Now, when it's time to replace the blade and what not to do. Well, we already kind of talked about when it's time to replace the blade. When you're going through a well-prepared coat and it just stops clipping it. Not because it hit a mat. That's going to stop it too. Just stops clipping. That's an indication that this guy is done. And you'll pop it off, clean and oil it, and it may work for another 10 seconds because you cleaned and oiled it. You gave it like that last, little drop of gasoline, you know, in the tank. And then it said, nope, no, but I can't go anymore. And it's dull. That's how they go dull. But what not to do? Don't take them apart. These screws, they're for your professional sharpener to take them apart, not for you. You're not a professional sharpener. And if you try to sharpen your blades, you're probably just going to ruin them. There is a specific grit, a specific system that they use. And I'm not a professional sharpener. I'm not going to attempt to be because I'm just going to mess up my blades. So you let them do it. That's what these screws are for. They are so they can take the cutting edge of the blade and away from the base of the blade, clean it all up, sharpen it, put it back together. Why is it important that you don't do it? Because there is a certain amount of tension. You can see these little like legs in here and stuff. I got a hair. They apply tension to the blade. You see them? And also, there's a little part inside here that rides along where the cutting edge meets. No, it's here. It's right here where this mechanism holds the two together. They know how much tension to put on these blades for them to work optimally. And if you're running a clipper and you have the tension too tight, your blade is, for one, going to heat up real quick because you have too much tension on the blade. But you're also going to grind it into itself. It's going to mess it up. So don't do it. These screws on the back are not for you to take your blades apart. Some people think they should take their blades apart and clean them. No, you don't need to. I told you, all you got to do is take your forced air dryer or one of those air guns that you use for your computer keyboards and psh, 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 and the hair will come out of everywhere in this blade. Or a blade brush. While I'm grooming most of the time, I'm just using my blade brush. That's what I use. At the end of the day, I will get in here and all these little holes and blow it out with my forced air dryer. But that's all you have to do. You don't have to take it apart. And please don't take it apart because you won't put it back together right, trust me. It may look right, but it won't be right. And then you'll be like, wow, and then you'll try to use it, and it may not be the best situation for the dog either, to be honest. So just don't take the screws out. That's for the professionals. So in the links below, you will find many linked videos that are going to help you, that are going to go further on this same subject of caring for your shears and caring for your clipper blades. And that's cleaning and oiling is the same for your A5, your adjustable blades, as it is for your A5 blades, these are detachable blades. So you clean and oil them the very same way, okay? Same thing. You can even use the forced air dryer and get all the hairs out of there, whatever. But cleaning and oiling them is the same. But these guys on the 5-in-1s, they cannot be sharpened. And I showed you why. They are made completely different, completely. So there's also 2 links for sharpening services. In the description below, if you're wondering where do you send your blades and your shears to be sharpened and or adjusted. And if you have a special note you need to put on there, you just send it along with the form. You download the form on their websites and fill it out and send it in with them with a check or credit card or whatever, whichever way you want to do it. But if there's something specific about, like if I dropped this and right away it didn't work right and I was scared, or especially you'll find that in blending shears. If you drop these or a dog kicks them off the table, they'll want to start catching, the teeth will start catching. Don't force that. You will mess the shear up permanently. If you find that, then you just go ahead and send that to your professional and say, sharpen it if needed, but I dropped it. I hope you can adjust it and get it back to working like it should. So put those notes in there when you fill out your request for, it's like a, it's like a PO for have your shears and your blades sharpened or worked on, either one. Typically when you send your blades and your shears, they're going to check everything. They are. They're not just going to sharpen it. And they clean them up real well for you too. They clean them up real nice. But they're going to check everything. But if you know of something specifically that happened and then it didn't work right, just make a note. For this shear, the Sapphire 8.5-inch curved, this happened. So can you check it out for me? Thanks. So yeah, hopefully that helps you guys a lot. I want to jump in here and answer your questions before we get out of here. I want to answer your questions. So let me go all the way up to the top. I'm looking for Lime. My goodness, somebody's here from Sylvia. Sylvia from Mexico. How cool. Look, we're coming from all over the place. Guys, I love it, love it, love it. Thank you all for being here. You are all welcome to be here. I'm so glad to have you. This is great. All right, I'm just going to scroll through here. I'm just trying to read as I'm scrolling. I'm reading some of your comments. I go back and read them later because I don't want to stand here and read them when you are here, but I love reading your comments. So White Eagle says, what are the prices to sharpen shears or blades? Good question. Usually blades are around $7 if I'm correct, and a shear sharpen is around 20. The last time I had it sharpened, I think they were 20. So that's what it costs, and it's worth it. And you don't think, well, oh, it's $20 to sharpen it. Why don't I just buy a new shear, you know, because you're going to have that one sharpened too. I mean, sharpening is just part of it, guys. It's like if you buy a really good knife or some type of outdoor tool that you like, often you have to get it sharpened. Your lawnmower blades, you have to get them sharpened. It doesn't mean you got to throw them away. No, you just get them sharpened. So, but use dog grooming sharpening services, period. Dog grooming equipment is specific. You know, you want somebody who understands them very well. You don't send them to your lawnmower man, your sharpening guy there. Don't send your blades or your shears to him. He might attempt to do it, but you're not going to want them. They're going to be a mess. So you got to send to the professional people who do that for a living, guys. The next question, Elsie says, hi Amy, always check your shear brand warranties before sending them out. Certain brands will void the warranty if sent to a non-authorized service shops or centers. Well, that's a good point. So Elsie's saying, so I think all the Kenchi shears, aren't they all 30? Most shear warranties are only like 30 days. I don't think anybody gives more warranty than 30 days, and usually within 30 days, you shouldn't need a sharpening. But if, let's just say there's a shear out there that has a year or 2-year warranty, I'm not sure if I've ever seen one, Elsie. If you have, please type it in the chat. Then what Elsie's saying is they may have in their shears, like let's say Evolution shears, I'm not sure what their warranty is. Elsie, you would know. Say they have a year warranty and you need it sharpened in 3 months or 4 months, which is kind of soon, but let's just say that. She's saying it may be in your information that if you bought that shear, the warranty only covers the shear if you send it to them for servicing. That could be true. So yeah, just always read that. I know with Kenchi, I think they only have a 30-day money back on all their shears, but I think that's the warranty. I don't think it's longer than that. I'd have to look. I've never needed a warranty for shears. I have shears for 20 years. I've never needed to say, I have a warranty, replace it. I don't know. I'm not sure. But maybe Elsie's experienced that. If so, Elsie, just elaborate a little bit. Share your wisdom and your knowledge, girlfriend. All right, Janelle says, reminding people to put a line. Thank you, Janelle. Put a line so you get your questions answered. Costworth TV says, what is your opinion with European products versus USA products? Well, that's a good question. A lot of European products are not available here, and a lot of USA products are not available there. So most of the products that I use are United States companies. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of products that are made in other places, like let's say the Yves Saint Bernard products, those wonderful shampoos and conditioners and sprays and everything they have is wonderful. That's made in Italy, if I'm correct, yes. So it's imported, but most everything, I don't know if there's anything that I use that's imported. I know Heininger is probably imported, but it's sold here at U.S. companies. I don't know. As far as the tool product, how they're made, if they're made in those countries, I'm not sure if there's a difference. I'm very happy with the products that are made in the USA. I'm not exactly sure completely what's available in Europe. I know that like Transgroom, our friend Kitty, God, I love her. She is an industry icon. She owns Transgroom, and you may be aware of that in Europe. Yes, you would be. She's in Belgium. She has wonderful products. I watch her videos and I can see the value in the products, the dryers, the brushes, the clippers, the conditioners, the shampoos. I can see the value. in her videos. So, you know, but I really don't have any experience using a lot of European-made tools, products, equipment. I can't say that I do. But hey, I like your question. Maybe I'll have to go over there and groom for a while. Oh, Elsie says, and FYI, a dull blade will still cut skin despite not cutting further hair. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So in other words, when you feel that your blade is dulling and it's not cutting the hair, don't try to force it, because now it's dangerous. It's just flat out dangerous and painful to the dog, even if it's only pulling the hair. Fortunately, didn't cut the skin, but pulling the hair, that's painful too. So absolutely. Deborah Rose says, is your Kenchi set ever coming for lefties? I don't think so, Deborah. I don't think it is. I need to talk with Sammy. We haven't sat down at the round table lately and just talked. And yes, I will talk to Sammy when we get a chance. I know he is actually so busy too. He's doing a lot of traveling with his company, and Kenchi and Joyzy line is just doing very well, but he's working hard at it. So he is busy. I don't know, Deborah. I know you can get the monks, I think, in some lefties. And I can honestly tell you, Deborah, that these are nice shears. I love my sapphire shears very, very much. Would I choose this over it? I would not. But I am very attached to these shears and using them every day. And that's just my favorite, you know. It's kind of like when you have a bond and you have a relationship, that kind of thing. I have a relationship with my shears. So I don't see any more questions. You guys don't have any more questions? Here's one from Elsie. Scentsy, for example, have a lifetime warranty on their shears. Okay, Scentsy shears are typically very expensive, so I don't know if a lot of people are buying Scentsy shears, but she says they have a lifetime warranty on their shears, and that probably means if you send them to another sharpener, you could void your warranty, or if you have work done on them or something, it's probably in the agreement that the warranty is good on the shear as long as you send it to them and their sharpening services. So yes, read your paperwork, especially, I think your more expensive shears are going to have those kinds of warranties, like your shears that are $300, $400, and $500 a piece. You may find them, but your everyday shears that are $100 to $170, you're probably not going to find lifetime warranties on shears. Julia says, now I see I forgot to add to my question. What was your question? Oh, the line? Well, where is your question? Julia says, and now that part is higher than it was originally. Oh, wait, okay. I was about to ask that. Unfortunately, I was moving, the moving part from my Joyzy 30 blade fell out, so I was recommended to take the screws out because I would be able to piece it back together. Otherwise, now, not sure if to send it to, I would send it out. No, you need to have the tension adjusted, Julia. And if you're saying the screws simply fell out of your Joyzy blade, I'd say that somehow you had already loosened them. They don't just fall out, really. Seriously, they don't, unless they were faulty. I would send it to them and have them put it back together and go ahead and check it for sharpness while it's there. But you can call and say the screws fell out, but I see that to be nearly impossible. I don't see how that could happen. So maybe, you know, you had tried to adjust something, and I don't know. But I've never in 23 years had screws fall out of my clipper blades and they just fall apart unless I was messing with them to clean them or adjust them myself and I didn't tighten them properly. I'm not sure. So I don't know. I would send them to the professionals though, Julie. I mean, it's certainly salvageable. Absolutely is salvageable. Kimberly says, what is a great beast cordless clipper? The new Wall KMC Plus is a beast, which is the new model of this. The Wall KM series of clippers have proven to me to have extreme long life, longevity, and very low maintenance. I don't have to do much to these clippers. Occasionally replace a blade drive, maybe tighten my hinge screws. And I have a video linked in the description of this one here for you guys. How do you tighten your hinge screws and change your blade drive? It's all in there. What type of tools you need to do it. And here's the thing, you don't always have to do that. If you're not comfortable doing it, you can send your clippers for repair too. And I know Whitman's does it. There's many companies that do. So you can send your clippers for repair if you want them to take it apart, clean it out. There definitely is hair that gets trapped in there that you're not aware of until you pull it apart. And make any adjustments and replace any parts like your blade drive. Sometimes we strip our screws in the hinge, blade hinge assembly because we're wrenching at them, and you know, they can get them tuned up. But your clipper should last you a long time. The Joyzy Falcon I like too. For some reason I like it a little better than the Raptor, and I think it's only because of the feel of it. I think that's why. The Raptor's a good clipper. That's made by Joyzy. I just think I like the feel of the Falcon a little better. And you would think I would like the Raptor because it is shaped more like a KM10, but the balance isn't the same. So it just feels different to me. Those are my two top choices, really, are the Wall KMC Plus and the Joyzy Falcon. Those are both cordless, and they can handle anything. I mean, most all of our detachable blade clippers can handle anything. It's a matter of what feels good to you, right? The clippers with the higher SPM, strokes per minute, are going to heat your blades up faster. It's just something for you guys to be aware of, right? But other than that, it's part of the game. It really is. Your blades are going to heat up when you have a metal blade and it's going 5,800 strokes per minute or 6,000 or more strokes per minute. It's going to heat up. So I hope this has helped you guys. I really appreciate you coming and learning with me. Go check out the links below when you have time and you want to learn more, because I linked some specific videos that will help you. Just a couple quick announcements. If you want to sign up for my weekly dog grooming newsletter, there's a link for that in the description below. It's free. I write it. It's all my dog grooming secrets, one in a shot, just little dishes, little doses on them. But it's a fun read. It comes out every Friday, and I love making it for you. I really absolutely love everything that I'm doing. The PDFs I'm making with my channel members, I just love it so much, because it really makes me go back to my beginner days and think, how can I make this? What is the easiest way to present this? That it's easy to understand, that all the fluff is left out, only use tools you need, all that kind of stuff. I just love doing it. Our next live from the grooming table, which is what we did here tonight, is going to be August 18th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead and set your reminders so you don't miss it. I don't want you to miss it. I absolutely love being part of your dog grooming journey, and I appreciate you trusting me and letting me go along on that ride with you as you learn safe and effective grooming methods and blossom into an amazing groomer. In the description below, you'll also find a link to become a channel member. That's my hounds. Love my hounds. Our next live session for our hounds, which is specific to channel members, is going to be on YouTube. Hounds, are you listening? It's going to be on YouTube instead of Zoom, but it's still only for channel members. Nobody else will even get the link. It's scheduled for Sunday, August 17th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will put another reminder with that link, that scheduled live stream, up on the community tab for you guys closer to the time. It's going to be fun, and what we're going to be doing is how to clean and care for all your tools and surfaces in the grooming salon, and that is going to be me basically with the camera doing what I did here today, but I'm going to see if I can get somebody to film it for me, and I think I can. So that's going to be our next channel members meeting, which is going to be August 17th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be great. And remember, if you're a channel member, you can always rewatch any of the lessons. We're on lesson number 36 now. So there's so many lessons. You can also download the free PDFs at any time. They're all posted on the community tab. The community tab, everybody says, what's that? Depending on your device, it says post tab on my channel, or it says community tab, or whatever. But basically what it is a little, it says post or community tab. I've linked it in the description below for you guys to be able to go to the community tab so you can see what it is and where it's at. Because some people are like, I don't understand that. And I know YouTube keeps changing the names of everything. Why do you do that, YouTube? Just leave it post or community tab. But anyway, you can head over to the community tab if you are a channel member. There is a link there. If you scroll down through the links, you'll find the link that has all 35 lesson PDFs ready for you to download if you've misplaced them or if there's some you haven't downloaded, which I often post that at least once a month, that you guys can go and say, oh, I can't find lesson number 18. I watched the video, but I can't find the PDF for my notebook. So you can go over to the community tab, which is linked in the description below, just so you guys know where it's at. So you can go there and then you see where it is. Periodically check that on my channel. There's all kinds of information I put up there and video announcements or whatever. Or if I had to change a live stream, I would put that on the community tab so you guys would know. So my Go Groomer channel memberships, I just love it, and you guys are loving it too, and we're not stopping. And if you would like to be part of the Hounds group, we'd love to have you taking your grooming to a new level. And it's wonderful. I absolutely love it. So thank you, Hounds, for doing that, for being there and going through that together. We get to go through it together. I love it. But now in closing of this live stream, we're going to watch the Farmer's Dog Super Bowl commercial that touched hearts of dog lovers' lives all over the world. You couldn't not watch that commercial without feeling something pulling at your heartstrings a little bit, right? Because we all love our dogs so much, even past dogs. God, I have so many amazing past dogs that I wish were still here, but they're not. So if you're interested in food for your dogs that is species appropriate and tailored to a dog's specific nutritional needs, that's what the Farmer's Dog is. It's tailored to a dog's specific nutritional needs. It's fresh food, no filler, FDA approved, human grade quality ingredients. Very important. I'd love to save you 80% on your first box of the Farmer's Dog fresh food delivered to your door. There is a link in the description below if you'd like to go check that out. And now, guys, I want to tell you thank you one more time for joining me tonight. I love you. I love what we're doing together. But there's only one more thing to say, and we can say it together. Long live dogs.
I'll always take